Joining me now on this episode of Locally Sourced CP is the owner, CEO of Lucha League Wrestling here in El Paso, Texas, Miss K. Miss K, thank you for joining me today.
Oh, thank you for inviting us, guys. Thank you.
Oh, well, this is you guys are the first like this of this company of a local company like this being on my show. Just wanted to, chat with you. What is the Lucha League Wrestling here in El Paso?
Okay, so Lucha League Wrestling started mostly because we tried joining other companies and we had a hard time because they already had their beginnings. They were either family owned or they've had already been out there for a while. So some of the wrestlers that started out with me were like, well, if nobody's going to give us a chance, then you know what? We're going to go ahead and make our own company and give those people that don't get a chance a chance. So when our company started, we got wrestlers that weren't really given a chance elsewhere in El Paso, and they started out with us. And some of those wrestlers are still sticking around here with us. Like Misty is one of them that's still here. Hombre Lobo is the one that's still here. We even got the little one, which is Lobito. He just debuted with Lucha League, and Ankler is another big one that started with us. And now these guys are like all around El Paso. Ankler's all over the U.S. and Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it was one of those companies to help you get started and step up to go to the next level.
Oh, that's cool. So, like, what I mean, for those who don't know, what exactly is a lucha libre?
Lucha Libre is a sport. Anybody that tells you it's fake, no, they don't know it. Lucha League and pro wrestling, they are a little bit different. Pro wrestling is what we call American style.
Mm-hmm.
Lucha Libre is more high flying, technical stuff. It's, I guess, for lack of a better term, Mexican.
Yeah.
If you want to put it like that, Mexico practices a lot of lucha libre, and this is where the high flying comes in, jumping in the ropes, into the ring, into the public. And pro wrestling is a little bit more about chain wrestling. It's more in the ring. It's about telling a story and doing a show and keeping the people following like a soap opera per se.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not fake. The chair is for real. The kick is for real. The bombs that you take, the ring sounds gnarly when you hit it, but I've done my fair share of practice on the ring and it hurts. It's heavy.
I mean, talk about. I mean, the physicality and the I guess choreograph and practice you guys have to do to make sure you all don't get hurt. I mean, what kind of work goes behind that?
Well, I mean, it's a lot of work. A lot of work. Our coach right now is Frank Stone. He's been with WWE, I believe, AEW, Dog Pound. He actually in Texas. And he's the main coach right now, and he's the one that's been teaching, whether you're a veteran or you're a new guy, he's the one that gives us the fundamentals of wrestling. And he starts us out from zero, which is from taking a bump, doing a flip, doing a roll on the ring, to the point where he even teaches you how to take a chair to the back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of work that you have to put in, and it's not just you putting it to work. Let's say like you wrestle each other, you wrestle a different wrestler, so you have to make sure that other wrestler is properly trained as well in order for them to not hurt each other in the ring. It's happened where an untrained wrestler has hurt another one because they try to either show off or they try to do a new move that nobody's actually practiced,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't talked about or choreographed like behind the scenes. So that's the reason why a lot of work, input, and practice has to go into the sport to avoid getting hurt and to avoid anything to go farther from just a bruise or a bump.
Right. And then you guys do local shows here in El Paso and things like that. I mean, talk a little about some of your events and things that you guys do.
We do local shows here in El Paso. Right now we're at the BFW Post 10354, I believe, right there on Isleta. So that's our home. It's been our home since June. So this is where we do our house shows. We started out at a soccer place, which is a small little cold. It was really, really cold when we first started, and then got really, really hot. But I mean, we kind of saw that coming when we started. It's like they were the ones to give us the first opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
and we kept moving into different venues and different shows. So what we try to do is put up our shows to help out other local businesses and local places here in El Paso. Like the soccer place, we helped them out a lot. We brought a lot of people there.
Mm-hmm.
We did shows at raves, and we helped her out a lot to do also with her sales, like food. They sold alcohol and drinks, and it was a small little venue where we also started. Right now, the BSW is the one that needs a lot of help from us. So we try to do shows to bring in people to buy beer or just hang out, because
Mm-hmm.
it's mostly a veteran hangout, but anybody's welcome there.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
those are the small places that we help out. The zoo reached out to us because they do something in July, I believe it's when we were there. Yeah, in July. So they had told us that's got a little bit of their slower month. So they wanted to bring people in with something different. This is where Lucha League came in, and we brought the house down. Like literally, we brought so many people, they weren't ready for it.
Oh,
They
wow.
told us like we've had this before, but never this kind of impact. So we
Wow.
helped out a local place here in El Paso. It's the zoo. Everybody knows the zoo. Everybody's gone to the zoo, whether it was when you were little and the school bus took you, or your mom or your dad. So now that we as adults have children, it's like, hey, you want to go to the zoo? There's always something to do at the zoo. And when we went, it was also a different atmosphere, a different venue. The same thing when we went to Comic Con. When we went to Comic Con, there was one of the shows that we did later on after that called Too Loud for Shatner.
Uh-huh.
So what happened there is a little bit of a story in there is that when we did our first wrestling show, because we had 2 days of shows there, William Shatner was there, and we got to the point where we pissed him off. Like all the noise we were making and the fans yelling, we got him mad. Eventually, that went one thing led to another, and we became too loud for Shatner. So they reached out to us also this year, and we're gonna be there again this year because the impact that we did, the fans that actually go, they've gotten a lot more foot traffic thanks to Lucha League.
Yeah. I also do, I have a production company. We used to do the photos there for El Paso Comic Con, and our last show was I think the first show you guys were there, because we did the photography there. And I remember because my youngest son was little, and you guys I'd already set up the ring, and we threw him in there, and he was just running around, and it's just so cool, like to be able to like that you guys let the kids do that, like see the ring and check it out. It is so cool that what the stuff you guys do. I mean, and I've always said this because I've been to live events, like not only like the bigger, the more popular, like the big time WWE and shows like yours. It's just so much better in person. Like it's so much better in person.
Yeah, it's way different. It's a way different animal once you see it in person than seeing it like behind, like on the stands.
Mm-hmm.
I've helped out put the ring together and take it apart. That thing's heavy. And seeing like the kids, even the adults see the ring, and it's like, can I get on there?
Yeah.
Yes, go for it, dude. It's way different seeing it like right there than just seeing it on TV or like I said, like from the stands. And granted, we're an independent wrestling company, but it's a whole different creature once you're actually next to it and you see how big it is, how loud it is. That's the reason why the Comic Con was like, yeah, you guys are a little loud. Can you just? So we had to move the next day to another room because we were too loud for Shatner.
Oh man, that William Shatner. He's when I saw him, he didn't have a line, and he was sitting in the back reading his Kindle. So you were disturbing his reading time.
I guess that's what it was.
Let me ask you, being a lifelong, who is your favorite wrestler? Do you have a favorite wrestler from any, like anywhere, like you're like, if you have a someone no one's ever heard of, someone from your league, someone from I mean, do you have a favorite one?
Okay, so favorite wrestler, I guess Lucha League would be Lobito, and you can call that bias, but he's like the cutest little thing ever, and he loves running around and getting the crowd going, and he's the one that sells my show. He's like, oh, Lobito's gonna be there, and he comes out and he hangs out with all the kids. So for Lucha League, it's him. Big wrestlers. I'm a fan of believe it or not, The Rock, because the way he talks and the way he does his promos, he is a good entertainer.
Yeah.
Wrestling wise, okay. And I mean, for being from El Paso, I'm a huge Guerrero fan.
Right.
Guerrero was a great wrestler, and it's like he's from here in El Paso, and he was local.
Yeah.
Again, he helped out also the community when he was here.
Yeah. Yeah. Believe it or not, my parents, my mom's side of the family, they knew the Guerreros, and my grandfather was groundskeeper. I don't know if you remember Dudley Field, where the Diablos used to play. Like I think in the 80s and stuff. Well, but that was when I think the last game was like in 86 or something. But my grandfather was groundskeeper there, and they would have the Lucha Libres there at Dudley Field on the baseball field, and the Guerreros would have shows there. They would bring they would have their league there, their wrestling show there, and they would tell me about it. So it's just, like, so cool to be that you were keeping it here in local and just keeping it coming here. It's just so cool that you guys are doing.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what we focus on, like a lot on the community and keeping it here local, because it's again something that's not done here in El Paso.
Yeah.
Like you see baseball leagues, football leagues, soccer leagues, but what other wrestling company really has done something else other than just pro wrestling? Like we are really involved in the community, and that's another thing that after we started this is like, you know what, we have to do something else other than just pro wrestling, other than just lucha libre. We've reached out to the Child Crisis Center for Christmas. We give out toys. We do
cool.
backpack drives. We've done canned food drives. We've helped out cancer foundations locally here in El Paso to do research on cancer and help out more women. I believe this is just women, the ones that we helped out. But we try to stay here, and also, like I said, local wrestlers that needed a stepping stone, we want to become that for them. Yeah, once after that, if they want to do their own thing, if they want to go ahead and do go to another company, we don't hold them against it. Right. It's like, by all means, go. If we're gonna come back, you can come back. There's always a door open.
Oh, that's awesome.
But it's something different. It's really different. It's a whole different ballpark compared to soccer league, football, baseball, the regular things that you usually see mostly. This is more of an impact because also we're a border town. So Lucha Libre was born here in the border town. It was El Paso and Juarez where these wrestlers would go. My grandparents, my great grandma used to go see them, El Santo and all those guys whenever they were here.
Yeah.
And I remember watching it on TV also when I was younger. So it's something that is like I vaguely knew when I was younger. Now that I'm older, it's like it's different.
Right.
It's something you don't, again, I'm reading myself, but it's something you don't see. So this is why we try to do an impact on in El Paso with something that was and now it is again.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, if one's interested in like either, getting involved or even just checking out information to see a show that you guys put on, where can they go find information for you guys?
We're right now on Facebook. So if you DM us, we're pretty good at getting back to you like within the 24 hours. We're on Instagram. We have our email. The email is literally luchaleague@gmail.com. We're on Facebook also as Lucha League. So if you just type in Lucha League, we're Facebook, Instagram, Gmail. I believe we do have our website, luchaleague.com. So if you need information, you can always go ahead and our contact info, phone numbers, emails are on the website. Whatever you guys need, if you want information about wrestling, if you want to get involved in the community, if you want to just buy a ticket, if you want to come in and volunteer, we're more than welcome to anybody that wants to help out the community and help out Lucha League, help out the community.
Nice. That's so cool that you guys do that. Miss Kay, I'll make sure I insert all of your guys' information in the description below. And I can't thank you enough for joining me today. And let me just I'll leave with this. Do you have anything else you like to say or add before we end today?
No, I mean, just support local. That's what we do. It's like it's a woman-owned company because nobody gave us an opportunity. So as a woman, I figured it's like, you know what, I'm gonna step up for me and other women out there. We started off as literally junk in my backyard, and they're like, you know what, the rings that we have here, they're handmade by Tata and by Lobo. Those rings are actually made here in El Paso, and they're created by somebody that you see there at the shows. You just really don't acknowledge them because they're just another part of the production.
Right.
Tata's the one that rings the bell. Lobo's the one that helps me out with the booking. And it's just Frank and the wrestlers help me put the ring together and apart. And it's something that I would love for people to know that it's more than just wrestling. It's for you as a community. It's for us as a family. In wrestling, it's like we love our fans. We love the community. And we just want to keep growing to help out everybody here as much as we can, as long as we can.
Awesome. Miss Kay, thank you so much for joining me today. I'll put all the information in the description below, and Nick, hopefully I see you guys one day and I can get hit with the chair in the middle of the ring one day. That's always been a dream of mine.
Yeah, of course. If you ever want to do that too, we do have our seminars, and we do have like the kids clinics for the kids to come over. If you want a one-on-one with Frank Stone, we can go ahead and schedule something up like that. All you have to do is just go ahead and call us or let us know and send us a message, and we can go ahead and make that happen.
All right, I'll have to wash my tights though, so I'll get those ready.
We'll let you borrow some. We'll let you borrow Lobito.
All right, sounds good. Miss Kate, thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll see you soon.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me, Ray. It was really fun.
Thank you.